A yoga instructor invited me to dinner, and I never left her side. The rain-slicked streets of Portland gleamed under the sodium glow of street lamps, the kind that turned every puddle into a fractured mirror of the city's restless soul. I slammed the car door, my boots splashing through the downpour, heart pounding like a bass drum in some underground indie track. ID just walked out on Mark. Again. Our fight echoed in my skull, his voice cracking like thunder, accusing me of drifting, of burying myself in freelance deadlines to avoid the truth we both knew. We were done, frayed threads in a sweater neither of us remembered knitting. But tonight it wasn't just another screaming match. Tonight, I drove straight from our cramped apartment in the Pearl District to the yoga studio on Burnside, the one place where the world's chaos hushed to a breath. The studio smelled of eucalyptus and faint sweat, the mats unrolled like invitations to surrender. I was late, always late, my graphic design brain wired for last-minute magic but lousy at clocks. Elena was there, mid-flow, her voice a low velvety anchor cutting through the humid air. Shed started teaching these late-night sessions a month ago, and ID stumbled into her class like a moth to a porch light. 34 with skin like caramel kissed by Oregon sun, her dark hair twisted into a loose bun that begged to be unraveled. She moved like liquid silk black leggings hugging curves honed by years of Ashtanga and trail runs through Forest Park, her green eyes sharp yet soft, scanning the room without judgment. Me? 32, pale from too many hours hunched over my MacBook, sketching logos for craft breweries and indie bands, my brown curls frizzing in the damp, hazel eyes shadowed by the kind of exhaustion that seeps into your bones. As I slipped onto a mat in the back, our eyes locked. Hers held mine a beat too long, a silent question in the arch of her brow. The class flowed downward dog into warrior's pose, her cues wrapping around me like fog off the Willamette. Breathe into it, she murmured during Savasana, her bare feet padding close, the faint scent of lavender oil trailing her. Let go of what doesn't serve you. God, if only. My mind replayed Mark's words, you're always somewhere else, Sarah, like a scratched vinyl loop. But here, in the dim light filtering through fogged windows, Elena's presence was a counterpoint, a steady inhale to my ragged exhale. Class ended with a collective OM that vibrated through the hardwood floors, and as everyone rolled mats, she approached, towel slung over her shoulder, a faint sheen of sweat making her glow. Rough night? She asked, voice laced with that easy Pacific Northwest warmth. No pity, just observation. Her accent carried a hint of East Coast edge, maybe Boston roots, before she landed here chasing wellness certifications and a fresh start. I forced a laugh, stuffing my water bottle into my bag. Yeah, the universe's way of saying hi. The rain pattered harder against the glass, a rhythmic underscore to my deflection. She tilted her head, studying me like one of her poses. Dinner? My treat. There's this hole-in-the-wall taqueria on Alberta. Makes killer carnitas that'll make you forget the storm. No strings, just fuel for the soul. My pulse skipped. Dinner with Elena? The woman had become my secret highlight in this gray slog of a life. The one whose Instagram stories of sunrise salutes on Multnomah Falls made my feed feel less like scrolling and more like dreaming. Why me? But the words stuck, tangled in the what-ifs. Mark was probably pacing our apartment now, phone in hand, ready to apologize with takeout and tears. Yet here was Elena, real and radiant, offering an out. Sure, I said before my brain could veto. The rain swallowed my doubt as we dashed to her beat-up Subaru, laughing when a gust soaked us both. The taqueria was a neon-lit haven, piñatas dangling from the ceiling like forgotten party favors, the air thick with sizzling pork and cilantro. We slid into a vinyl booth scarred by years of spilled salsa, and Elena ordered for us in flawless Spanish, her laugh bubbling when the server teased her about being a gringa with a silver tongue. She'd grown up in a bilingual household in Salem, she explained over steaming plates, her fork pausing mid-air. Mom from Oaxaca. Dad a logger who'd traded axes for office jobs. Yoga found me after a bad breakup in college, kept me from spiraling into law school like everyone expected. I nodded, chasing a bite of al pastor with a swig of horchata, the sweet rice milk cooling the spice on my tongue. Bad breakup? Spill. She leaned in, elbows on the table, the booth's red glow painting her cheeks. Fiancé. Or ex-fiancé. He wanted the picket fence 2.4 kids. I wanted this. She gestured vaguely at the room at us, her eyes flickering with something raw. Freedom. And maybe a little rebellion. The word hung there electric. I knew that it's the one that had me doodling abstract hearts in the margins of Mark's love notes, wondering why they felt like blueprints for a cage. We talked for hours, the rain a relentless drum outside. Plates cleared but coffee refilled. She shared stories of her first teaching gig in a dingy community center, how she'd cry in her car after, doubting every vinyas. I confessed my freelance fears, the dry spells when rejection emails piled like autumn leaves. How designing album covers for queercore bands felt like flirting with a life I admired but couldn't claim. By the time we stepped back into the storm, the city felt smaller, warmer. Her car idled at the curb, wipers slashing rhythmically. Thanks for this, I whispered, hand on the door handle, the leather cool under my palm. Elena reached across, her fingers brushing mine, accidental. Then not. Stay? Just tonight. My place has got a pull-out couch and teeth that'll chase the chill. My breath caught, the air between us thick as the fog rolling in from the river. Mark's text buzzed in my pocket, ignored, insistent. But Elena's gaze, it pulled, a tide I didn't want to fight. Okay, I murmured, and the door clicked shut like a vow. Her apartment was a third-floor walk-up in Northeast, overlooking a pocket park where dog walkers blurred in the mist. Inside, it smelled of sage and fresh linen, succulents crowding the windowsills like green cheers. She brewed chamomile while I texted Mark a vague "I'm safe." Need space, the lie bitter on my thumbs. The couch unfolded with a creak, blanket soft as her voice when she handed me the mug, our knuckles grazing sparks in the steam. We sat cross-legged on the floor, backs against the couch, trading truths in the low light of a salt lamp. She spoke of her queerness like a quiet revolution discovered at 22 during a women's retreat in the Cascades. The way she'd kissed a fellow hiker under a canopy of firs and the world righted itself. No fanfare, just clarity. And you? She asked, her knee inches from mine, the heat of her seeping through denim. I swallowed, the tea scalding my lip. I've wondered. With Mark it's safe, you know? But safe feels like settling. Like I'm sketching someone else's story. Her hand found my knee then, light as a breath, and the room narrowed to that point of contact. Wondering's not a crime, Sarah. It's the start of everything. The kiss happened slow, inevitable, her lips tasting of honey tea and courage, mine tentative then hungry, a sigh escaping as her fingers threaded my hair. We tumbled onto the rug, rain lashing the panes like applause, her body arching under mine, all lithe strength and yielding warmth. Clothes shed in whispers, skin meeting skin with gasps that echoed the storm. Her touch mapped me, reverent, unhurried, thumbs tracing the curve of my hip as if committing it to memory. I lost myself in the salt of her neck, the hitch in her breath when my palm cupped her breast, the world dissolving to the slick slide of us, tangled and true. After we lay spent, sheets twisted around ankles, her head on my chest, heartbeat sinking like a duet. The rain softened to a drizzle, dawn creeping gray through the blinds. I should go, I murmured, but my arms tightened instead. Stay, she echoed, voice thick with sleep and something deeper. Just a little longer. And so I did. That morning, as coffee brewed and she stretched languid in the kitchen, sunlight gilding her form, I realized the hook had set. Dinner with Elena wasn't an escape. It was arrival. But Portland mornings come with baggage. My phone lit up mid-sip, Mark's voicemails stacking like accusations. Where are you? Babe, we can fix this. Come home. Home. The words soured in my mouth, a 2-bedroom lease we'd signed in a haze of optimism, now cluttered with his flannel shirts and my half-finished sketches of women warriors, fierce, unapologetic lines, ID hidden in a drawer. Elena caught my flinch, pouring oat milk into our mugs with a steady hand. Talk to me. I set the phone face down, the ceramic warm between palms. He's persistent. We've been together 4 years. College sweethearts, the whole rom-com arc. But lately it's like we're reading from different scripts. He wants marriage, kids, the Hawthorne house with a garden for heirloom tomatoes. I want this. I waved at her sun-dappled space, at the yoga wheel propped by the door at us. She slid beside me on the stool, thigh pressing mine solid and sure. And this wants you back. But you can't pour from an empty cup, Sarah. What fills yours? The question lingered as she headed to her noon class, kissing my temple with a murmur of text me later. I wandered her apartment like a ghost, fingers trailing book spines, dog-eared copies of Audre Lorde and Cheryl Strayed, post-its marking passages on loving fiercely, on wild hearts. My own place felt worlds away, Mark's cologne clinging to the couch like regret. By afternoon I texted him, we need to talk. In person. Not home. A coffee shop on 23rd, neutral ground amid the hipster bustle of strollers and overpriced lattes. He arrived disheveled, rain-frizzed blonde hair. Eyes red-rimmed under the awning's drip. Sarah, thank God. Last night I thought. His hand reached for mine across the sticky table. Calluses from his barista shifts rough against my skin. I pulled back gently, the barista's espresso grinder whirring like white noise to my resolve. Mark, I'm sorry, but I can't keep pretending. It's not you, it's me, cliché as hell but true. I need space to figure out who I am without us. His face crumpled, a slow-motion shatter, voice cracking on the edge of a sob. Figure out? Babe, we had plans. The trip to Cannon Beach, the gallery show for your art. You're throwing it away for what? Freelance burnout? The word stung, sharp as the steam rising from his untouched Americano. Not throwing away. Finding. There's someone. No, that's not it. It's bigger. Me. I like women, Mark. Or I think I do. Last night confirmed it. Silence stretched, broken only by the hiss of milk frothing, his jaw working like head-swallowed glass. Women? Like bi-curious bullshit? Or you're leaving me for some chick from yoga? Elena. Her name on my lips felt like breathing underwater, free and terrifying. She's part of it, yeah. But mostly it's waking up. I love you, but not like that. Not anymore. He shoved back, chair scraping linoleum, rain beating on his jacket like unshed tears. Fuck this, Sarah. Call me when you come to your senses. The door slammed behind him, bell jangling, leaving me adrift in the coffee-scented wake. I walked then, blocks blurring under leaden skies, boots splashing gutters swollen with autumn leaves. Alina's studio loomed like a beacon, her class spilling out in a haze of chatter and rolled mats. She spotted me through the window, mid-laugh with a student, then excused herself, pulling me into the alcove where props gathered dust. Hey, stranger. Her arms enveloped me, eucalyptus strong, heartbeat steady against my cheek. Rough coffee date? I nodded into her shoulder, the dam breaking in hot, silent streams. Told him. It's over. And now I'm terrified. She cupped my face, thumb swiping salt from my lashes, green eyes fierce as evergreens. Terrified's okay. It's the price of brave. You're not alone in this, Sarah. Not if you want. The kiss that followed was salt and solace, her lips firm, hands anchoring my waist as the world spun back into focus. We ended up at her place again. The afternoon light slanting golden through blinds, bodies rediscovering each other with a hunger tempered by truth. Her fingers traced tattoos ID hidden under blouses, a constellation on my ribcage. Stars for lost dreams, she kissed each one like a prayer. I learned the dip of her spine, the way she gasped my name like a secret, thighs parting under my tentative touch, slick and inviting. We moved slow then urgent, the bed frame creaking a counterpoint to moans that built like thunder, cresting in shudders that left us boneless, entwined. Dinner that night was takeout pad thai from the spot on Fremont, eaten cross-legged on her floor amid scattered clothes, chopsticks clinking like toasts. She talked dreams, a yoga retreat in Bali, maybe co-teaching with me, illustrating poses for a queer wellness book. I sketched idly on a napkin, her form fluid lines, heart swelling at the possibility. But shadows crept with the dusk. My sublet search on Zillow mocked from my phone, freelance invoices glaring unpaid. And Elena, her ex, the one who'd ghosted after coming out to her conservative family, leaving scars she bandaged with dawn patrols and downward dogs. We tiptoed around it, but the air hummed with unspoken fears. 2 weeks blurred into a rhythm. Mornings tangled in her sheets, the scent of her shampoo in my hair as I dashed to client calls. Evenings in her kitchen, her guiding my hands through knife work for veggie stir-fries, laughter spilling over sizzling woks. Portland unfolded softer now, the Saturday market on PSU with its lavender bundles and folk fiddles, her hand in mine under the awnings, thumb stroking my knuckles like a promise. We hiked the Hoyt Arboretum one crisp fall day, leaves crunching underfoot, her ponytail swinging as she led warrior poses amid maples aflame. I captured her on my phone mid-laugh, wind tousling curls, the shot blurry but perfect raw joy. Yet the hook tightened. Mark's texts evolved from please to Barb's. Saw your Insta story. Real classy, moving on so fast. Friends whispered concern over group chat pings. My coming out post, a quiet photo of 2 mugs on her sill. Caption, breathing easier. Likes trickled in rainbows from old college queer allies, but family radio silence from Mom in Eugene. Her Bible study circle probably dissecting it over potlucks. Elena felt it too. One night, post-love tangled in sheets damp with sweat, her head on my belly, she murmured, my sister's getting married next month. Traditional as hell, full abuelita takeover. She wants me there. With a date. My stomach nodded, fingers stilling in her hair. And you're it. If you want. But it's Salem. Small town eyes, whispers in Spanish. My mom still praying the gay away. The vulnerability cracked me open, her body tensing like a bowstring. I went to Elena. Show them you're whole. We're whole. She rose, straddling me, eyes searching mine in the moonlight, slicing through slats. You mean that? Kiss me, I whispered, pulling her down, and we sealed it with tongues and teeth, her hips grinding slow circles that drew whimpers from us both. Her breasts brushed mine, nipples hardening to peaks I lavished with lips and tongue, her back bowing as fingers delved lower, curling into wet heat that clenched around me. Climax hit her like a wave, cry muffled in my neck, and I followed, her hand between my thighs stroking fire to ash. But rehearsals for real life loomed. My first gallery show approached, a pop-up in the White Stag building. Prints of queer icons reimagined in neon Portland grit. Elena promised front row. Her pride a balm to my jitters. The night arrived, electric fairy lights strung like stars, craft IPAs flowing. The crowd a mix of art nerds and drag kings in glittered vests. She arrived in a silk blouse unbuttoned just so, dark jeans hugging hips, turning heads as she wove to me, arms slipping my waist. You're brilliant, she breathed, lips at my ear over the jazz quartet sax wail. These pieces, they're you. Fierce. Free. We mingled, her hand a constant anchor, introductions laced with we. Sarah and I, hiking buddies, turned. More. A collector bought my Audre Lorde portrait, check pressed into my palm like validation, and in the bathroom mirror later, Elena's reflection grinned behind mine, lipstick smudged from stolen kisses, eyes alight. High on the night, we stumbled to her car, fog thick as desire, her driving with one hand on my thigh, fingers inching higher till I squirmed, begging. Home, she growled, and we barely made the door. Clothes shedding in the hall, her mouth hot on my collarbone. My nails raking her back as she lifted me against the wall, legs wrapping her waist. Inside, on the kitchen counter, cool granite under my ass, she knelt, tongue delving with devastating precision, my cries echoing off cabinets as pleasure coiled tight, snapping in stars behind eyelids. That should have been the peak. But climaxes precede crashes. The crash came midweek, my inbox a minefield. Mom's email, subject we need to talk. Words like confusion, prayer, your father's health, knife twisting. Elena found me curled on her couch, laptop glow harsh, sobs racking like dry heaves. She knelt, arms enveloping, her chin on my shoulder. Read it to me. Halting voice cracking. I did the pleas for normalcy, the veiled threats of distance. Heaves turned to hiccups, her hand rubbing circles on my back, steady as breathwork. They'll come around, she said finally, fierce. Or they want. But you have family here. Me. I turned, burying in her neck, the lavender of her skin grounding. I know, but it hurts. Like ripping roots. She held me through the night, bodies spooned under quilts, her whispers weaving spells of worthiness. Morning brought resolve. I'd reply honest, open, no apologies. And Salem? Would face it together. The wedding invite arrived, crisp cardstock scented with jasmine. Alina's sister Marisol beaming from the photo, white lace and all. Road trip south, her Subaru loaded with snacks and playlists, Sufjan Stevens crooning Loss and Love. The drive wound through Willamette Valley vineyards, golden hour painting hills, her hand in mine over the console, thumb tracing veins like lifelines. Salem unfolded, quaint, cruel. Colonials with wraparounds, churches steepled like judgments. Alina's family home buzzed, preparations, tamales steaming, teas gossiping in rapid Spanish. Her mom, Rosa, greeted with hugs stiffening at our linked hands, eyes flicking to the matching flushes on our cheeks. Bienvenidas, she said, voice tight, ushering us to guest rooms separate, of course. Dinner was a minefield. Long table groaning under mole and rice, uncles toasting tradition, Marisol glowing beside her groom. Elena sat tall, my knee bumping hers under lace cloth, a secret Morse. When Rosa asked about my work, I spoke steady graphic design, Portland seen her nod, polite, probing. And you too? Amigas? Alina's fork paused, green eyes locking mine across plates. More than that, Mama. Sarah's my partner. I love her. The room hushed, clinks dying, air thick as the congealing sauce. Rosa's face paled, cross necklace glinting like accusation. Amor? But the church. The church says love thy neighbor. Elena cut in, voice steel-wrapped silk. Sarah's my heart. That's scripture too. Marisol broke the ice, squeezing Alina's hand. She's family now, Mom. Let it be joy. But joy fractured later, Rosa cornering me in the kitchen. Sink running, camouflage for tears. You're taking my girl. She was happy before. Before what? I whispered, sponge twisting in suds. Before she chose truth? She's blooming, Rosa. With me. She deflated, hand on my arm fleeting. Just, don't break her. The ceremony next day was a blur, veils and vows under a tent strung with lights. Mariachi horns blaring triumph. We stood side by side, Alina's fingers laced mine. Her vows to Marisol echoing ours unspoken. Reception swirled polka and cake, and when Elena pulled me to the floor for a slow sway to some old ranchera, bodies close, hips sinking, the world narrowed to her breath hot on my neck, whispers of forever amid the cheers. But roots ripped deeper. Night fell, guest room door clicking shut, us tumbling to the twin bed, springs protesting our weight. Her mouth claimed mine desperate, hands roaming with reclaiming fire, peeling nightgown straps to bare skin. I arched into her, legs parting as fingers slid home, curling with knowing precision, thumb circling the ache till I shattered, bite on her shoulder muffling cries. She followed, straddling my face, thighs quaking as tongue and lips coaxed her unraveling. Taste of her essence a sacrament. Dawn brought reckoning. Rosa waited in the kitchen, coffee brewing truce. Elena, she said, pulling her daughter close. I was wrong. Be happy. Both of you. Tears flowed free, hugs healing fractures, and as we drove north, valleys greening in rear view, Elena's hand found mine again. Home. Always, I said, and meant Portland, her bed, our unfolding life. Back in the city, rain relented to rare sun, my gallery pieces selling steady. A book deal nibbling at edges, queer yoga illustrations. Elena's poses my muse. Mark's shadow faded, a final coffee closure where he nodded. Broken but kind. Be happy, Sarah. You deserve it. We marked 6 months with a ring, simple gold bands engraved with breaths intertwined. Exchanged on a bluff over the Columbia, wind whipping skirts, her kiss sealing salt spray promises. That night, lovemaking was worship, slow caresses tracing commitments, her body yielding under mine, gasps building to symphony as we crested together, souls sinking in afterglow. The hook? It wasn't dinner. It was choosing to stay. And in Alina's side I found my center unshakable, alive. Winter clamped Portland in its iron grip, the kind that turns the Willamette to a steel mirror. Bridges arched like frozen prayers against slate skies. 6 months in, Elena and I had carved a nest, her apartment now ours, my easel crowding the corner, canvases blooming with sketches of her in tree pose, lithe limbs defying gravity. Mornings started tangled, her alarm a soft chime pulling us from dreams, lips brushing collarbones as coffee gurgled in the French press. Shed teach dawn classes at the studio, me hunkered over deadlines, the city's hum a backdrop to our quiet symphony. But harmony phrase. My book pitch landed a yes from a small queer press in Seattle, contract ink fresh as the snow-dusting Burnside. Elena celebrated with a home-cooked feast, mole poblano simmering hours, chocolate heat wrapping our tongues as we fed each other bites, laughter spilling over candle flicker. Yet her eyes held shadows. The wedding high faded to family texts probing when are you settling down? Marisol's baby announcement a joy bomb that twisted the knife tradition marching on without her. One February eve, post-class glow on her skin, she collapsed beside me on the couch, takeout containers from screen door littering the coffee table, fried chicken crisp, biscuits flaking under thumbs. Her head lolled on my shoulder, sigh heavy as the fog outside. My tays keep asking. About us. Babies, rings the works. I stroked her hair, silk threads scented with patchouli from her matte spray. And it stings. Like I'm defective for choosing this. You. Defective? I shifted, cupping her chin, hazel locking green. Babe, you're the whole damn universe. They'll see it or miss out. She kissed me then, fierce, teeth grazing lip, hands fisting my sweater as we slid to the rug, fire crackling low in the hearth. Clothes peeled urgent, her mouth trailing fire down my sternum, tongue flicking navel till I bowed, breath hitching. Kneeling between thighs she devoured reverent, lips and fingers in tandem stroking strings till orgasm crashed, thighs clamping her head, cry raw in the rafters. I returned the grace, laying her back, exploring with lips the valley of her breasts, the flat plane of belly, delving lower to lap at her core, her hips bucking as she came undone, fingers twisting my curls like anchors. After, curled nude under throw blankets, she whispered plans a couple's retreat in the Olympics, hot springs and hikes to wash the doubt. Yes, I murmured, but sleep stole her before mine. Her snore soft counterpoint to the wind rattling panes. Spring thought us tentative, cherry blossoms rioting pink along the esplanade. Our runs through Waterfront Park a ritual, her pace setting mine, breath sinking in crisp air. The book tour loomed 5 stops starting Seattle, a whirlwind of readings in cozy nooks. Mics amplifying my voice on loving women in a man's world. Elena drove the first leg, Subaru humming I-5, her hand on my knee as we crossed the bridge, space needle piercing clouds like aspiration. The reading was intimate Q&A books, packed with flannel-clad dykes in curious straits, air humming with herbal tea and anticipation. I read the dedication to her, voice cracking on lines about dawn limbs entwined, the ache of chosen family. Applause thundered, her eyes shining from the front row, post-event hug crushing me to her, murmur of proud hot in my ear. But tours test. Night 2 in Olympia, hotel room sterile, her call crackling distance. Miss you, she breathed, and we improvise phone-lit intimacy, voices low over lines, her gasps guiding my fingers self-taught in the sheets, mutual release a bridge across miles. Loneliness gnawed though. Empty diner booths echoing my fork taps, strangers' faces blurring into Mark's ghost or Rose's disapproval. Homecoming was bomb. Elena at PDX, lay of wildflowers around my neck, kiss devouring in baggage claim, indifferent travelers parting like seas. We drove straight to her to our studio, bags dumped, bodies colliding in the hall, her back to the wall, legs hooking my hips as I thrust fingers deep, her moans a litany against my neck. Bed claimed us next, slow worship, her tongue tracing spine dips, me arching back to meet, climax building languid till it bloomed, shared shudders rippling like aftershocks. Yet the fray widened, freelance dried, invoices chasing tails, my agent pinging edits that gutted heart. Elena's studio expanded, group classes swelling, Her schedule a tangle of privates and workshops. Evenings clipped, her home late, takeout cold when I microwaved solo. One night, post-argument over forgotten anniversary tie, she snapped, "I'm trying, Sarah. The world's not bending for us." I recoiled, plate clattering, sink, tears hot. Trying. Feels like drifting. Like dinner all over again but reversed. She deflated, arms wrapping from behind, chin on shoulder. I'm scared. Success means change, retreats abroad, maybe. What if it pulls us? We made up on the fire escape, city lights winking below, her straddling my lap in the chill, coats open, hands delving warm folds. Slow grinds built friction, breaths mingling fog, her climax pulling mine, release a defiant spark against the night. Summer scorched in, heat waves warping asphalt, our balcony a refuge strung with hammocks and fans whirring lazy. We escaped to the coast, Cannon Beach sands vast, Haystack Rock looming sentinel as we walked barefoot, waves licking ankles, cold shock. Picnic of crab rolls and local Pinot, blanket tangled as dusk fell, her head in lap, fingers combing waves while gulls cried overhead. There, under stars pricking velvet sky, she proposed not rings but words. Move in permanent. Build this. No maybes. Tears pricked, joy sharp. Yes, 1,000 times. Love that night on the beach house deck was tidal, her body oil slick under moon, me tracing constellations on skin, lips following paths to core, tongue delving till she keened, waves crashing echo. She flipped me, fingers and mouth in concert, pleasure coiling tight, release crashing white-capped. Back in Portland, boxes merged lives, my vinyls beside her crystals, shared closet a rainbow of fabrics. But autumn winds carried omens. Rose's health scare a fall, fractured hip news via panicked call, Elena booking flights south, me tagging virtual support. She returned hollow-eyed, suitcase thumping hall. Ma'am's asking questions. Grandkids' legacy. Guilt-tripped me hard. I pulled her close, kitchen tile cool under bare feet. And you said? Truth. Forever. Pride swelled but cracks spidered. My book revisions demanded isolation. Holed up in cafes, her classes clashing. Distance bred doubt, text terse. Nights parallel scrolls on phones. One eve, storm raging, she came home soaked, eyes thunder. We need to fight fair. Or not at all. Words escalated, old wounds ripped, voices rising over rain lash. I love you, but this feels like suffocating. She stormed out, door slamming echo, me sinking to floor, sobs racking. Hours ticked, panic gnawing, phone silent. Midnight brought her back, drenched anew, arms crushing. I'm sorry. Can't lose you. Forgiveness in bed. Urgent, her mouth claiming apologies on skin. Hands mapping remorse. We moved frantic, bodies slamming slick. Her inside me with strap harness from the drawer. Thrusts deep and forgiving. Climaxes purging storm. Leaving us wrecked, whole. Winter circled again, but we armored. Therapy joint sessions in a cozy office overlooking the park. Unpacking baggage marks, ghost. Rose's rosary. Dates, intentional moonlit kayaks on the river. Paddles dipping sink. Her laugh rippling water. Book launch loomed, Elena co-hosting. Her poses live modeled for illustrations. Crowd oohing at our synergy. Launch night glittered, Alberta Arts District. Venue pulsing with string lights and queer anthems. Air electric with perfume and possibility. I spoke heart-bared, Elena beside, hand in mine. Sails soared, hugs from strangers like kin. After party spilling to our place, bodies dancing till dawn. In the haze on our bed amid discarded heels, she took me slow, reverent, lips and fingers painting love letters on thighs, tongue coiling climax from depths. I reciprocated, her pleasure my canvas, strokes bold till she shattered, my name benediction. The hook held tighter, truer. Dinner was spark, this the blaze. Portland spring erupted defiant, dogwoods unfurling pink against the gray hangover of winter, the city shaking off its damp shroud like a dog after a bath. Elena and I had weathered the first real squall, therapy our keel, but the waters deepened. My book hit shelves, reviews trickling in like spring rain, some glowing, calling it a beacon for late bloomers. Others sharp, nitpicking the raw edges of my voice. Success tasted bittersweet. Interviews pulling me east to podcasts in Brooklyn, leaving Elena to hold our fort. She thrived in absence, studio blooming with a new queer-inclusive series, Bend Without Breaking. Mats filled with bodies like ours, tentative, triumphant. Video calls bridged gaps, her face pixelated but luminous, post-class glow undimmed. Miss your sketches on the fridge, shed say, and ID laugh, promising doodles of her in crow pose, fierce and airborne. Return was ritual. PDX curb, her waiting with a thermos of mate, bitter earth grounding my jet-lagged haze. That May, post-New York whirlwind, she blindfolded me in the car. Tires humming mystery routes. Unveil at the lot. Forest Park trailhead, wildflowers rioting, trillium and foxglove. A picnic basket slung her shoulder. You planned this? I grinned, tying off the scarf, her hand warm in mine as we hiked the wildwood. Ferns brushing calves, bird calls trilling overhead. Our spot, a clearing ringed by alders, view plunging to the city's patchwork. She spread a blanket, unpacking cheeses and figs, local Riesling chilling in the stream. We ate slow, fingers sticky with fruit, her lips chasing juice from my chin, kiss deepening to heat. Clothes shed lazy, sun-dappling skin, her body arching under mine as I explored with mouth and hands, tongue tracing hip bones till she gasped, fingers delving her slick welcome. Climax bloomed mutual, earth cool beneath, birdsong our chorus. Afternoon lazed into talks, dreams expanding. Her retreat center, maybe in the gorge, cabins for healing circles, my illustrations branching to murals queering public walls. But undercurrents stirred. Marisol's baby arrived, chubby cheeks Sophia. Photos flooding Alina's phone. Rose's captions laced with hints, more blessings soon? Guilt gnawed her, visible in the hunch of shoulders during Savasana demos, the way she'd linger in showers, water masking sighs. One night, post-dinner of foraged mushroom risotto, her specialty, steam curling aromatic, we curled on the couch, her head in lap, my fingers combing tangles. It hurts, she admitted, voice small. Seeing them build legacy feels like I'm outside the frame. I bent, kissing forehead salt damp. Your legacy's us. The women you'll lift, the love we're carving. Sophie'll have two baddest as showing her strength. She twisted, eyes searching, then claimed my mouth slow, tongues tangling deliberate. We migrated to bed, undressing with intent, her blouse unbuttoned reverent, revealing lace bra I unclasped, mouth latching nipple to peak, her moan vibrating chest. Lower jeans shucked, my head between thighs, tongue parting folds to taste her essence, fingers curling till she bucked, release flooding sweet. She flipped, reciprocating with lips suction to clit, hand twisting inside, my cry peaking as waves crashed. Summer solstice marked our anniversary proper. 1 year since that rainy taqueria, carnitas crisp in memory. We rented a yurt in the Cascades. Canvas walls whispering wind, fire pit crackling, stars overhead. Ritual. She led a private flow, me mirroring her grace, sweat beating as poses built heat. Then, naked by flames, bodies painted in ash, swirls her designs on my breasts, mine on her thighs, we danced slow, hips circling to drum apps pulsing low. Lovemaking was elemental, her on all fours, me behind with harness, thrust sinking rhythm, hand reaching round to circle her, dual gasps harmonizing, flame pops. Climax is chained, her collapsing forward, me following, spent in embers glow. But idols end. Fall brought my mural gig, city commission on a southeast wall, scaffolding my perch, paint guns hissing color onto brick. Elena visited lunches, her bento boxes of kale salads and tamales, cheering from below. Yet her scheduled balloon teacher training certs, weekends away mentoring in Eugene. Night solo, I paced our space, wine glass stem cool in palm, doubts whispering like drafts. One October storm, thunder rumbling, gorge echo, she returned late, mud caking boots from a rain-soaked workshop. I waited, stew simmering but temper hotter. We fought clean this time, voices pitched but pausing for breaths, therapy tools deployed. I'm stretched thin, she confessed, shedding wet layers, skin goose pimpled. Fear you're slipping. Slipping. I pulled her close, towel wrapping, lips brushing temple. Anchored. Always. Reconcile in shower steam fogging mirror, water cascading hot. Her back to my front. Soapy hands roaming breasts to belly. Fingers slipping between to stroke slow. She turned, knees buckling as mouth met core. Tile slick under palms. Climax shuddering down drain. Bed next, lazy 69, mouths and tongues in tandem. Pleasures mutual till we crested synced, limbs tangled post-bliss. November elections loomed, city tents with yard signs slashing lawns. Our bubble pierced by news feeds of rights rolled back whispers of therapy bans, adoption blocks. Elena's classes turned activist breathwork for resilience. Me designing protest graphics shared virally. A rally on Pioneer Square packed us shoulder to shoulder. Her arm linked mine amid chants. Tear gas canisters popping distant but dread close. Home adrenaline wired, we channeled to bed her pinning wrists, mouth bruising collar, teeth grazing throat as fingers plunged deep, rhythm punishing then tender, my release ripping cry. She straddled face, grinding urgent, my tongue lashing till she quaked, essence anointing. Winter solstice brought Rose's visit unannounced. Bus from Salem rumbling in, her knocking tentative, cross clutched like shield. Elena froze in the doorway, me hovering kitchen. Apron dusted flour from pie crust. Mama? Rosa entered hesitant, scanning our space crystals winking. My sketches pinned walls, pride flags subtle but bold. Hola Sarah, she said, voice softening, hug awkward but real. Smells good. Dinner bridged ice mole my attempt, her tweaks from stool, laughter tentative over bites. Later, by fire, she spoke halting English laced Spanish of regrets, prayers evolving. I see her light now. With you. Tears tripled, Elena burying in shoulder, my hand on her back steady. Gratitude choked words, night ending with Rosa in guest room. Us whispering thanks in dark. Bodies joining soft, her spooning me. Fingers lazy circles on belly, sleep claiming gentle. Year turned, confetti bursting New Year's Eve at a dyke bar on Stark. Glitter raining as we kissed at midnight, tongues champagne sweet. Home fireworks distant booms. Love urgent on living room floor. Her body writhing under mine. Nails raking back as I thrust harness deep. Climaxes exploding sink. The side I never left? It widened to world, her hand pulling me through. Portland's relentless drizzle morphed to summer's hazy gold. The city exhaling into festival season music thumping from waterfront stages. Food carts exhaling cumin and smoke. Elena and I had stitched our seams tighter. Roses thaw a cornerstone but foundations shift. My mural unveiled to fanfare city council ribbon cut. Her beside in sundress, green eyes proud as paint-dried vibrant queer silhouettes marching brick. Gigs followed commissions from co-ops. My studio space rented in a collective warehouse. Easels shared with potters and poets. Elena's retreat vision crystallized land scouted in the gorge. A Hood River parcel with river view and meadow for tents. Fundraisers kicked off GoFundMe laced her stories. Classes donation-based. Community rallying with potlucks and pledges. We poured nights into plans, mood boards pinned cork. Her sketches of yoga decks mingling my watercolors of sun salutes. Yet pour too much and cracks form. One July heat wave, air thick as soup. Her late from a scouting trip. Dust road griming the Subaru. I waited on balcony, iced tea sweating glass. Worry fermenting to snap when keys jangled. Where were you? Phone dead? She winced, dropping bag, sundress clinging curves. Battery died mid-call. Sorry, amor. The site's perfect waterfall access space for 50. I deflated, pulling her into AC chill. Lips brushing apology. Just scared. World feels big lately. Bed that night was oasis sheets cool. Her body fever hot from drive. Mouth latching, breast urgent. Suckling till milked moans. Fingers trailed south, parting to plunge. Curl hooking G-spot till I arched, release gushing. She mounted my hand, grinding palm to clit. Hips circling hypnotic. Climax flushing cheeks rosy. August brought the first retreat beta, a weekend pilot. 20 souls caravanning east. Tents popping like mushrooms after rain. I tag support staff, sketching live during circles. Her voice guiding flows as dawn gilded basalt cliffs. Night's campfire crackled stories shared scars and triumphs, her arm my anchor, embers glowing like resolve. Success hummed, but post-rap exhaustion hit her hard crash of tears in the carpool van, head on wheel. Too much, she sobbed, mascara streaking. What if it fails? Drags us down. I drove then, hand on thigh squeeze. ITLL sore. Cause it's you. Home we decompressed in tub bubbles foaming, her back to chest, my fingers soaping breasts, thumbs circling nipples to harden. Leaned forward, tongue traced spine, hand dipping below waterline to stroke folds, her gasp steaming mirror. Climax rippled waves, her turning to reciprocate, mouth submerging to lap clit, bubbles popping on tongue till I bucked, water sloshing. Fall foliage ignited, our calendar ablaze, workshops, book signings, her trainings. Distance domestic, now me at easel till midnight, her prepping modules on laptop, dinners microwave side by side. Sparks flew small, a forgotten grocery run. Her snapping over paint-splattered counters. Fights short but sharp, makeup swift, her cornering me against fridge. Kiss bruising, hand up skirt to fingers fuck deep. Rhythm forgiving, my cry muffled in neck as release mended. Thanksgiving tested kinships, roses train north, Marisol and Sophia in tow. Our table groaning, turkey and tamales, pumpkin pie spiced cinnamon. Sophia toddled, chubby fists grabbing Alina's hair. Laughter bubbling as we passed plates. Rosa pulled me aside post-feast, dishes clinking. You're good for her. Thank you. Heart swelled, later bed with Elena soft, Sophia's monitor humming beside. Her touch gentle fingers tracing lazy eights on inner thigh. Dipping to core slow, building to whisper climax, shared sighs sinking breaths. Winter holidays glittered, Hanukkah lights twining Christmas boughs in our secular mashup. Menorah candles flickering beside stockings. Family Collins' mom's tentative video from Eugene. Her knitting needles clicking approval. Dad's gruff, you're happy? Good. Rosa's gift, a quilt stitched Oaxaca patterns, love woven thread. New Year's retreat launch full tilt. Hood River buzzing with arrivals, cars crunching gravel. Tints blooming meadow. I man welcome. Name tags and swag. Her opening circle voice resonant over river rush. Sessions flowed vinyas to vulnerability shares. My mural's backdrop vibrant. Closing night bonfire roared, testimonials tear-streaked. Her eyes finding mine across flames. Nod profound. Post-event high crashed next day, packing tents in sleet. Her collapsing couch back home. Flu brewing, fever flush. I nursed herbal teas steaming, cool cloths on brow. Her hand clutching mine delirious. Love you, fever slurred. Through nights wakeful, her tossing, my vigil steady, broth spoon slow. Recovery slow but intimacy returned tentative, her weak but wanting. Me straddling gentle. Hips rocking subtle. Fingers interlinked as climax whispered soft. Spring 2027 bloomed, our groove deepening. But ambition beckons. Her retreats booked solid. Invites to teach in LA, Bali whispers. My art show solo at Reed. Curators circling for galleries east. Talks turned what ifs, her entropic 6 months, me NYC residency. Fear flickered, but we faced mirror therapy couch, voices honest. We adapt, she said, hand in mine. Side by side always. To seal, weekend getaway, Olympic Peninsula hot springs steaming, forest cloaking. Soak turned seduction, water lapping breasts, her fingers underwater stroking, building to submerged gasp climax. Shoreline love under pines, her on blanket, me devouring slow, tongue and teeth till she keened forest quiet. Reciprocated, strap deep, thrust sinking wave crash, dual release echoing owls. The never left? Evolving, elastic, enduring. Summer 2027 scorched Portland anew. Heat mirages dancing off Hawthorne bridges. The city a sauna of street fairs and iced lattes gulped hasty. Elena's retreat center crested wave bookings overflowing. Staff hired young instructors mentored in her image. The gorge parcel now dotted cabins rising like hopeful seedlings. I freelance steady, murals multiplying walls from Boise to Bend. My name etched in vibrant permanence. Our life a tapestry woven tight threads of commute synced. Date nights at food pods, grease-slick fingers intertwined. But tides turned subtle. Her LA offer landed email ping during my sketch session. Sun slanting desk, her reading aloud voice laced awe and ache. 3 months winter slot. Expand the brand, they say. Podcasts collapse. Excitement sparked but undercurrent pulled. 3 months. I set pencil down, her laptop glow harsh on face. Miss you every day now. That's long. She crossed room, knees bracketing mine chair, hands cupping cheeks. Miss me but grow with me. We've handled worse. Kiss sealed debate, deepening to heat, her tongue probing. Hands unbuttoning blouse to palm breasts, thumbs flicking nipples stiff. Desk cleared hasty, me perched edge, her kneeling to lap at core exposed. Tongue flat strokes building fire till I shattered, pencils scattering clatter. She rose, pants shucked, me fingers plunging her standing. Free hand muffling moans as climax buckled knees. Decision brewed over weeks, hikes in Tryon Creek. Ferns whispering doubts, her hand steady. Go, I said finally, picnic spread damp moss. I'll visit. Fly down for weekends. Her Bali counter came swift invite to co-lead a women's immersion. Monsoon season magic. We weighed scales, flights costly. Schedules clashing, my East Coast show overlapping. Fights simmered, low boil over laundry piles. Her snapping at misplaced keys. Me withdrawing to canvas silence. Peak cracked one September eve. Autumn chill nipping. Her packing for Ella trial run weekend scout. Words escalated from suitcase zip to slammed door. Her storming to studio, me pacing floors cold. Midnight text, couch? Followed by key turn, her sheepish in PJs, eyes red. Sorry, we chorused, colliding hall, clothes frantic shed. Wall press urgent, her thigh hooked hip. Fingers mutual delving slick. Rhythms frantic forgiving, climaxes crashing tandem, sobs mingling release. Therapy unpacked, voices raw on worn couch overlooking park maples turning. Fear of loss, we named it, her abandonment scars. My queer late bloom terror of alone. Tools forged. Daily check-ins, voice notes husky morning. Nightly calls post-class glow. Ella launched her jet-lagged but lit. Photos of palm fronds in studio mats flooding feed. My likes hearts pulsing. Visits flew me south, smog-choked skies. Hotel rooms are hideaway, her post-gig high channel to bed. Strap harnessed. Me on back, legs wide. Thrusts deep, sinking gasps. Her collapse spent atop sweat-slick love. My NYC residency countered winter winds howling galleries. Snow blanketing lofts. She visited once, Rockefeller tree glittering. Our hotel suite overlooking chaos. Love-making slow amid twinkles, her fingers scissoring inside. Tongue on clit circling. My release arching skyline view. Reciprocated belly down, her ass raised. Tongue rimming then plunging. Fingers front stroking till she quaked. Pillow bite muffling. Reunions home electric PDX arrivals arms crushing. Bags dropped hall. Bodies immediate, her kitchen counter perch. Mouth between thighs devouring. My heels digging shoulders as climax ripped. Nights tangled rediscovery, every curve remapped. Intimacies deepened by absence. Spring 2028 bloomed, separations ache, but growth's fruit. Her retreats went global, waitlists Bali bound. My art touring solo shows Vancouver to SF. We navigated with grace, video dates candlelit. Her in tank post yoga. Me in robe sketchpad. Whispers turning explicit, her fingers demoing on cam. Guiding my own to match, mutual moans bridging screens. Crux hit summer, Elena's big ask permanent split time, her basing half-year LA for expansion. Me Portland anchored gigs. Dinner debate at our spot, Tuckeria neon same booth. Carnitas crisp echo. Voices steady but eyes wet. I can't half you, I admitted, fork pausing. Feels like fracture. She reached across, thumb stroking palm. Not fracture. Fold. We build bigger life together apart. Tears salted bites, but nod came dawn next, compromise forged. Quarterly sabbaticals together. No work, just us. Sealed on balcony sunrise, her standing behind. Hands roaming front, fingers dipping shorts to stroke slow, building to outdoor gasp climax, city waking below. Bali bound us first monsoon lush. Thatched hut over rice paddies, rain's drumming roof. Immersion-led joint her flows, my art workshops. Days sweat-soaked synergy. Night's hammock sway, her body oiled mine. Massage turning erotic hands needing to caress. Fingers sliding core. Slow build to shared ripple. Love under canopy frogs chorusing. Strap lazy thrusts. Climaxes sinking thunder. Ella phase tested my solo Portland echoey. Nights wine and Netflix ghosts. But visits anchored her condo sleek pool view. A splashing nude twilight. Her floating me water, tongue lapping submerged. Bubbles rising with my moans. Bed after 69 languid. Mouth savoring till dual peaks. East Coast pull my SF show. Her flying cross-country jet lag be damned. Gallery afterparty spilling to hotel. Dance floor grind turning hall stumble. Elevator kiss desperate hands up skirts. Sweet frenzy her on knees, mouth engulfing strap base while I thrust face fuck gentle. Then bed her riding reverse, ass grinding, hand reaching to finger her. Climax forward bow. Fold strengthened us but toll mounted. Fall 2028 Elena's burnout surfaced retreat feedback glowing but her hollow voice cracking mid-call. Too spread she confessed, airport layover limbo. Need tether. Come home my urged ticket booked impulse. Reunion PDX rain welcome, airport lot steam fogged windows car. Her straddling gear shift, skirt hiked, grinding urgent on fingers climax shuddering dash. Home thorough, bath drawn petals floating, her reclined tub edge. Me kneeling lick slow water lapped. Tongue delving folds till she arched release splashing. Reciprocated bed her hands pinning mouth claiming every inch. Fingers and tongue tag team climax from me screaming. Winter brought pivot her declining LA extension. Retreats rooted gorge only, my gigs localized collectives. Life recentered dinners cooked joint. Her chopping vivid peppers, me stirring sauces kisses spice dusted. Intimacies daily her morning wood illusion strap play. Me bent counter. Thrusts waking, coffee perking aroma. Anniversary 3 years Taqueria revisit. Booth scarred deeper, our order memorized. Toast to sides chosen. Her foot hooking ankle under table promise electric. The never left deep in roots, rain-fed resilient. Portland's autumn 2029 painted fever dream hues, maples bleeding red gold along the sandy boulevard. The city a canvas of decay and rebirth mirroring our arc. Elena's gorge center thrived sanctuary carved from cliffs, cabins hosting healers from afar, her name synonymous with queer resilience. My art evolved installations interactive queer histories projected on studio walls. Grants flowing steady. We balance full orbits her dawn patrols my midnight inspirations. Love the constant north. But peaks prelude valleys. Rose's decline crept insidious hip healed but lungs faltered. Doctors murmuring oxygen tanks and timelines. Elena shuttled south weekends me tagging when gigs allowed. Salem visits hushed hospital beeps. Rose's hand frail in hers. Story spun Spanish-English hybrid of Oaxaca youth. Regret softened. I sat sentinel, sketching her profile peaceful, hazel eyes distant. One November dusk, post-visit drive. Rain sheeting windshield. Elena broke silence voice thread. She's fading, Sarah. Once grandkid stories for Sophia but, acceptance full now but time. I pulled over lay by Willamette churning below, arms crushing her sobs racking. She's proud. Sees our light. Funeral came swift December chill. Salem church packed mourners in black lace rebozos. Marisol's eulogy choking on grace. Elena spoke last voice steady steel. Words of matriarch strength passed torch. Reception home Rose's kitchen tamales steaming communal. Sophia on hip. Elena's tears salt trail but smile emerging. My hand waist anchor. Grief hollowed her week's fogged flows forgotten. Retreats paused. Her curling couch fetal. I held space soup simmer ginger soothing. Walks slow through Laurelhurst Park leaves crunching therapy. Ducks quacking indifference. Nights she clung desperate. Body seeking solace mine. Touches turned frantic her nails raking back. Mouth bruising thighs as tongue plunged deep. My gasps permission to feel. Climaxes cathartic her shuddering release on my fingers. Tears wetting pillow. Me following soft her hand gentle stroking to peace. Spring thought her tentative. First post-loss class small circle trusted students. Her voice cracking then strengthening. Breathwork weaving loss to legacy. I attended back row mat borrowed poses mirroring her grace. Post-class hug lingering eucalyptus strong. My show coincided renewal solo at PNCA. Gallery stark white walls my installations pulsing queer timelines holographic hearts sinking viewer pulses. Opening night buzz donors sipping Pinot. Elena circulating sundress flowing. Her pride verbal amulet. After loft party spilled artists and allies, her pulling me to balcony city lights sprawl. Kiss deep wind whipped. Hand slipping dress to fingers curl inside. Climax quiet against railing stars witnesses. Summer solstice ritual our evolved fire pit gorge center. Flames leaping river reflect. Circle of us alumni sharing arcs. Elena led closing OM resonant. Then private us meadow blanket. Clothes shed moon silver. Her body astride. Slow grind building friction. Hands interlinked overhead as release crested wave-like. Cries blending cricket hum. Fall brought fork Elena's invite global tour Europe wellness fests. My counter Asia art biennale. We chose tandem compromise. Joint sabbatical 6 months wanderlust. Backpacks light. Love heavy. Planning fevered maps pin fridge. Her packing crystals me sketch pads kisses punctuation. Departure PDX dawn. Embrace crushing. Promise texts hourly. Europe first Paris cobble walks sane kisses bridgelit. Her yoga pop-up sparks my street murals chalk ephemeral. Nights hostel bunks creaking her spooning tight. Fingers lazy tracing spine to ass. Dipping slow to stroke awake. Mutual sighs muffled pillows. Rome aqueduct shadows gelato melting chins. Colosseum echoes our bodies tangled ruin view hotel. Strap play ancient fierce. Thrusts echoing arches. Climaxes roars gladiator. Asia leg Tokyo neon pulse. Her Shibuya flows dawn crowded. My gallery whispers ink brush. Onsen soak private steam cloaking. Her floating me buoyant tongue water kiss clit. Release rippling hot springs. Bali return full circle hut rains drumming. Love monsoon wild her on knees. Mouth devouring strap. Me fingers hair guided. Then bed her riding waves dual peaks thunderous. Return Portland October gold. Home airport arms reunion. Cab ride urgent her hand thigh high. Fingers plunging skirt. Climax shuddering traffic. Home thorough bath steam then bed marathon touches mapping year mist. Every curve reclaimed. Intimacies layered slow to urgent. Climaxes chaining till exhaustion claimed. Limbs entwined dawn. Winter rooted us gorge expansion new cabin queer elder wing. Groundbreaking her shovel first. Soil dark promise. My grant funded murals center walls. Figures flowing poses eternal. Anniversary 5 years intimate gorge solstice fire just us. Rings renewed vows whispered flamelit. Sides eternal, hooks unbreakable. Elder years glimpsed roses quilt draped bed. Sophia visits toddle to teen. Her drawings are fridge legacy. Elena's silver threads mine poses adapted gentle. Love undimmed her touch still fire. Fingers knowing paths to bliss. Climaxes softer but profound. Souls sink breath deep. The dinner? Spark divine. Side never left? Universe embraced? Meaningful infinite.